I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome to K-pop News, where you get the hottest news, the craziest theories, and the latest updates you never thought possible. This time we're going to discuss a surprising phenomenon, and possibly the turning point of the entire BTS story. So sit back, because you're about to dive into the biggest mystery since the military era began. Just as the world was preparing to welcome a new era after military service, HYBE dropped a bombshell on the K-pop community. A teaser for Kim Taehyung's latest solo project appeared, but without a single trace of BTS's name in it. There was no logo, no BTS's beat. Even the promotional materials felt foreign. It was like we were seeing the same Taehyung but from a different universe. In fact, previously every solo work by BTS members, be it Jungkook, RM, J-Hope, or Jin, always carried the group's identity. At least there was the BTS name to strengthen the impression that they were still one body. But this time, quiet. Like a new page that no longer wanted to be associated with the past. It didn't take long for the internet to heat up. Comments flooded social media. Some were disappointed, others were curious. Many asked, why did HYBE remove the BTS name? Was this a mistake? Or was it a very deliberate strategy? Some said this was the beginning of a major overhaul. Others thought that HYBE was on a mission to make each member an independent entity without having to rely on the BTS brand anymore. Comments such as, if V is not part of BTS, then who is he now? Is this a sign that BTS will really take a long break or even disband? Immediately filled the forums and comment columns. One of the strongest theories says that this is a strategic move by HYBE to form Taehyung's individual brand. We all know, this man whose full name is Kim Taehyung is not just an ordinary idol. He is an artist. His visuals are strong. His style is eccentric. His music is unique. He not only appears as BTS's V, but also as an icon of modern Korean art. By changing the narrative to just V or Taehyung without BTS, HYBE seems to be separating two identities. V the idol versus Kim Taehyung the artist. And perhaps, now is the time for the artist to step further without the shadow of his group. If we go back a few months, this is actually not a complete surprise. Taehyung has long filled his social media with personal things. He shows off his life, art, photography, and visual moods that are far from the idol world. Even when appearing on the cover of international magazines, such as Vogue or Elle, he is always introduced as Kim Taehyung, not VBTS. And now, HYBE is only continuing that narrative officially. We have seen similar things. Jungkook was designed as a global pop star when he released 7, without many K-pop frills. Jin was given a personal spotlight in various projects. But this time, it's different. Taehyung is completely free from the BTS label in all aspects of official communication. Is this just a promotion? Or a sign that the solo era has arrived permanently? The question now shifts. Is this an early sign that BTS will change form? Maybe not disband, but become something exclusive, appearing only at certain events, once a year, like the Korean version of Avengers. Exclusive, rare, epic. Meanwhile, the members are emerging as superstars on their respective stages. Those who know Taehyung know that he's not just a performer. He's a visual mood maker, a retro music lover, and a fashion icon who's quietly emerged in a Parisian art gallery. He can't be pigeonholed into the K-pop label. HYBE knows this. And perhaps they're paving the way for him to become something bigger, the face of Korea on the world stage. And now, the world's attention is firmly on one thing. Where is Taehyung going next? HYBE's decision to completely remove the BTS label from every form of communication regarding this solo project is not just about branding. It's a statement. A big signal that Korean entertainment is changing, and Taehyung is at the forefront of that change. Many initially called it an experiment, but as time went on, it became clearer. This was a new phase that had been planned very carefully. Taehyung himself seemed oblivious to the hustle and bustle that was happening behind the scenes. As if he was ready. He had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Every step he took now seemed freer, more personal, more
Taehyung.
no longer constrained by the image of a mainstream idol, no longer relying on choreography and lyrics full of the spirit of unity. Instead, what we now see is a more contemplative aesthetic, even a little melancholic work. He is not trying to attract a market, but rather to create a new market, one that can only be conquered by those with a strong identity. And this is what makes HYBE's decision interesting to analyze. Instead of using BTS's name to capture old fans, they chose to reintroduce Taehyung to the world. Not as BTS's V, but as Kim Taehyung, an artist, a visionary. That way, he could engage with a wider audience, even those who aren't K-pop fans. Because at this point, his solo project isn't just about music. It's about storytelling. It's about emotion. It's about identity. Of course, this move also opens up risks. Without the BTS name, the project might not be as successful as it's hoped. But that's where the courage lies. Not everyone can walk without a safety rope. Taehyung is taking a big risk, but not without reason. He has enough capital, not just popularity, but also artistic quality and an aura that can't be imitated. Some observers have even called this a significant transition, similar to how Beyoncé left a shadow of Destiny's Child, or how Zayn Malik split from One Direction and built a new image. But in Taehyung's case, the narrative is more complex, because he's still a part of BTS. He's not leaving. He's not turning away. But he wants to be known for more than just one role. And interestingly, many don't realize that this change has been designed slowly. Even from the way he manages social media, from the choice of words in the caption, from the visual tone in each upload, everything seems to be a grid that now starts to make sense. Taehyung no longer writes as part of we, but as me. He is building a personal space that not all idols can have. Does this mean BTS will disband?
No.
But it is also not a guarantee that they will return in the same format as before. In fact, projects like this could be the foundation of a new form of BTS in the future. A group with members who are already established individually, who only come together for extraordinary moments. In other words, BTS as a special event, not as a routine activity. And that makes their brand much more exclusive. Taehyung is opening the door to these possibilities. He may be the first to completely leave the BTS name in the public eye, but that doesn't mean he is leaving BTS completely. This is about separating the two worlds so that both can grow perfectly. One is part of the legend, the other as a new story being written. If this theory is true, then the public can prepare for the next phase of BTS, a global group that doesn't always have to perform together, but instead grows stronger because each member has their own charm. And maybe, when that day comes, when they stand on the same stage again after so long walking their own paths, the surprise will feel much bigger, much more emotional, and much more meaningful. But for now, the world's eyes are on one name, Kim Taehyung. Not just BTS's V, not just an idol who dances and sings, but an artist who is rewriting his own destiny, without a group flag, without security, just himself, his work, and a stage that never stops shining. The question now is no longer, why isn't BTS mentioned? But, are we ready to accept Kim Taehyung as himself? Because if your answer is yes, then you're not just a BTS fan. You are a witness to a new chapter in K-pop history. And don't forget, K-pop always has a way of surprising you just when you thought everything was calm.